Welcome to this sacred training. Are you ready to play a game with me? Does that sound fun right now? So this is an invitation to play out your dreams. This is a choice of divine free will. So it's truly if you wish to participate and co-create with me in this moment. My name is Emily Jackman. I help loving and devoted souls restore their right to consciously play so that they live a life of uninterrupted freedom, unlike all the mainstream programming, without taking months of therapy or thousands of pounds or dollars, because I've achieved this myself and therefore I teach others to share with and experience this life too. So I'm a quantum channeler and a teacher of meditation. And I like to say a teacher of the divine plan because I seem to have figured out quite a lot. And I want to share that with you today. So my life's been focused on healing. I've walked the path of pain into my passions. And who could have dreamt this? Now I get to guide others out of the programmed trauma by having fun. Pretty sweet, hey? So now I invite you to play an instant breakthrough game with me. So have a breath, be ready to activate. You're going to have some cosmic downloads here and some conscious shifts from pretty much your whole life. So let's remove this there. Reflect. So as a child, when someone would spoil your game, how did you feel? Let's take a moment there to reflect. Someone comes along, you're in play, freestyling, and something spoils it, spoils your flow. How did you feel? So do you remember this moment, that blissful solo inner world? I'm going to share a really short story with you about my own. I remember one of my first memories, in fact, was me playing with the boy and the girl doll when they were getting married and everything was perfect. There was no problem. He loved her, she loved him, and everything was blissful. It was innocent. I didn't really mean anything by it. I meant that everything was working out and I believed that. Then in this one particular memory, my older sister came in and I invited her in. I said, do you want to come and play? They've just got married. It's beautiful. Do you want to come to the party? But she came in and entered the game. And what she actually done was she grabbed one of our unclothed dolls, had scruffy hair and felt tips all over her. And she put on a squeaky voice and she said, he's going to marry me now. And he's not going to marry you. And they ran off together. So I guess we all understand that people are going to come into our games. They're going to come into our lives, right? But we really wish that they would immediately impact us positively and not negatively, rather than the shock of them changing everything that we've wanted in our game. Now reflect, what could you do in that situation as a 3-4-year-old? What could you do in this situation that you're reflecting on? What could you do? You were young. You didn't have the conscious skills, the cognition to navigate that. Surely there's got to be this layer of forgiveness I invite you to open yourself up to. I've gone through 30 years of reflecting, counselors and counselors, therapy and therapy, modalities, healing methods, to try and infiltrate this one memory, this one significant memory, my first ever memory. So the ripple effect, seedling beliefs that came with this one memory. Let's just have a look at a few of them, yeah. So I believed that being alone is safer. I believed that being alone was more fun. I believed, don't invite people in. Don't invite them into your world, into your game. That my dreams don't come true. That my life is actually in somebody else's control. I believed that men leave their women. I believed, I've written here, it's a bit overlapped there, that I believe that women take other women's men. I believed that people were out to get me. I believed my sister was out to ruin what I created. I believed that men are silent. Why even bother dreaming? I even believed that men won't defend me, including my husband. Why even start a game if these were the beliefs? Of a young child, I believed all them things. Do you think I had any hope in wanting to play another game? Do you think I was really lit up and passionate and could cognize why that would be fun for me? And I wonder, and I hope obviously some of these examples are reflecting your own situations. Why would a child with those beliefs enjoy entering into another game of play? There was no reason, there was no incentive. I believe my dreams don't come true, and any game that I have will be destroyed by another. I didn't want to make a game so that someone could destroy it. So I wanted to retreat from playing. So there, my own narrative of fear and that people actually separate from one another was created. And that me living my perfect life wasn't what I was here for. And I believe that. I wasn't here for that. I'd experienced it once. That was my memory. I'm not here for experiencing my dream life. That's me. Okay, I understand. But most of all, I learned and I believed that play was therefore dangerous. Does any of this sound familiar for you? So we all have similar options in these situations. And these are applicable in anything in your life, really. So we can deny it. We can pretend we're all happy. Oh, yeah, this is great. I'm really enjoying myself. We could break down and grieve. This isn't fair. Please leave me. I'm absolutely breaking here. We could accept it. Okay, this is just how it is. People ruin my games. That's fine. I could be really violent. I could start acting out. We could all start acting out. Start hitting everyone that does the single thing that goes against what we wanted to happen. We can start bargaining, negotiating. Whoa, if you play my game for a bit, then I could play yours for a bit. How about it? And start getting into those sticky things where we're doing things just because we get something out of it. We could be frozen forever in confusion and never want to play again, never want to do a single thing again, because that one memory of pain was too much. Could feel so confusing. The whole world's out to get me. Or we could try to start a new game. Okay, this one's clearly not working out for us. We both want to play. Let's think about a new one. Let's break it all down, collapse, start with a new system. Let's design something from the perspective that we both enjoy. We could go and ask someone else to fix it. I could, as I did, run to the doctors. Can you help my thoughts? Can you help my mind? I can't stop thinking. I can't stop seeing through the eyes of fear, only seeing through the eyes of separation. I could have run into my mother and asked her instead, can you fix this for me? I could go and tell on her, go and tell the police on someone, complain to someone bigger than me to go and sort someone else out. Could have chosen all of this, as we could in every single opportunity in our lives. I could pray for it to change. We could all just pray. We could really reach out to a higher power and say, please, God, I have no way of understanding how to resolve this situation. Could you please help me? That could go in two ways. You could say, oh, I don't have to do anything. I pray. I pray. I don't have to take any aligned action. And whatever happens is what's going to happen. It must all be good. I don't have to do anything though. We could allow the other person to play out their need. Perhaps my sister needed to role play herself, and on reflection of obviously years of understanding, my parents had gone through a divorce. They were literally going through a divorce. Yeah. My sister was that little bit older than me. She understood. She was acting out her version of reality. She wasn't trying to cause any pain, maybe. I didn't understand that because I didn't understand that version of reality. And P.S., my dad wasn't leaving me for another woman who was naked and covered in felt tip. We could observe and witness what's happening with no judgment. They're just a few of the general reactions that people could have, and perhaps responses, just to plant those seeds that we do have options. There's not just these limited ones of it wasn't fair and I was hurt. There are options, perspectives that we can change. So these are beliefs. And as you see by this guy, he looks so relieved, doesn't he? Like we've all wanted to feel that, like, yes, a breakthrough. Thank God I've had a breakthrough. I thought I was stuck forever. So some beliefs are created from external happenings, like those beliefs. Someone brought me a situation and I therefore had this programming of all these beliefs. I hadn't actually deciphered them for myself. I'd assumed that there was only these certain ways from this external reality. But upon reflecting, we can change these beliefs. So I can say my sister was going through a situation of divorce, so she wasn't trying to do it to me. She was acting out her own thing. So it's changed upon the reflection. So that actually proves that there is not a single belief that is set in stone, ever, if you utilize a path of reflection, a path of opening up your perspectives. So that's so cool for humanity, right? Competition with one another, destruction of the planet, destruction of each other, of society, of the family, comparison, low self-esteem obviously comes into that, suicide, depression, and challenges, social, economical challenges that we all face. The perspective of these can all change. So how do you feel knowing every single one of your beliefs could have been impacted by an external happening, but through reflection and an upgrade in perspective, your whole belief could change? If you're suffering, surely that's a liberating feeling, right? So here's an important disclaimer. What if your biggest opponent is actually your greatest ally? For what inspired me to heal my beliefs was actually experiencing the feeling of suffering. So I invite you to reflect on this for yourselves, because me and my sister are now our greatest supporters. We always have been once you reflect, but now we're aware of that. We even bought a house together last year after not even speaking for years, because something had changed. Our priorities and our ability to reflect and appreciate how we became who we are today holds merit from however we've been treated, however our perspective. If we're on the path of still being here, they've got a part to play in it. So how do you feel knowing that subconsciously, without knowing, unaware, everyone, or even larger authorities who oppose you, who diminish you, or even downright infuriate you, they could be actually unintentionally guiding you towards your own self-mastery and your own healing journey? Perhaps it was subconsciously, intentionally, and they actually do want you to heal. How's that feeling? How's that landing? Your enemy is offering you a moment to reflect upon a higher perspective, to be able to move yourself out of only the limited perspective of suffering. The world's out to get me. I have an enemy. Why would anyone want to have an enemy? Surely having an enemy guides you to saying, I wish to walk towards the path where I have none. And then you start reflecting on your so-called enemy. Maybe their intention is to ask you. So could you, in this moment, be open to that? Could you? Could you be seeing through these perspective eyes, these new awakened, open eyes, an open heart of saying, maybe I've only looked at the surface level here. Oh, she did this to me. He did that to me. Did you hear what he said? Rather than, well, where did that come from? What happened in his childhood? What happened in your childhood to make you only be able to hear this certain perspective of pain? Be open enough to start talking about these things, to start venturing into them, to start hearing through these new ears. Maybe some larger authorities in your reality, you might reflect upon their life and say, goodness me, maybe they're full of fear. Maybe they're so scared of life. They need to have this limited perspective of control and power because they are filled with fear. Obviously, this is what I help people release, the control of any authority or anyone else being over you, because you put them in this box of, oh, if you're talking about that, what it really represents is that you must be full of fear to need so much control. You must want to put me down to feel big, meaning you must feel small. So be open to playing around with these concepts, because what you're seeing on the surface really is the opposite. If you're willing, if you're walking a path of self-healing, it's usually the opposite that then your senses start being in tune for. So be open to that now in your life. I invite you on that game of hearing the opposite, seeing the opposite, of noticing the synchronicities in that. So when I was younger, I asked myself then, I said, why even play? Why even play? And reflect. Did you ask yourself this too? Did you say, I'm just out? Don't know. No, thank you. Done that. Thank you. Bye bye. Tried that. Didn't work. Because the neural pathways were programmed for me, but as a society in general, they've been programmed to be on alert for pain. If you don't get your needs met once, the neural pathways are there. They're open, baby. They're like, woohoo, let's free flow into suffering. So we were programmed to expect pain and to not be able to play your own dream game. This image, I think, is quite representative. It's like you're on the inside, but you're looking out, meaning you're on the outside looking in, meaning you're never really in the moment. You're searching for something else in another place. You think happiness is going to be on the outside because you don't feel it within. You're hoping that something within your environment is going to make you feel happy. And certainly for me, nothing on the outside could. It was numbing the pain. That's all it was doing, numbing the pain, until I started using the pain. And this is what I want to help teach you with this game. So be an innocent child. What would an innocent child reflect upon? A game. What would a game represent to an innocent child? Surely fun. Surely you can imagine the trauma that my mind, even in that tiny example, but the reflections that you're obviously going to bring to the table, I know are going to be huge. But this is to not diminish anyone else. So someone could say to me, is that all that happened? I'm like, it's not all that happened. What I'm saying is that from that first imprinted memory, I navigated my life in that way. It doesn't matter if it was someone stood on my foot or someone said no to have an ice cream. They open up to the neural pathways and the version of reality where you don't get what you want, so you don't expect to get what you want. So being an innocent child is about imagining going back to that idea that they didn't have the negative neural wiring. Imagine me if I didn't have that one memory, for example, how my life could be different. So be an innocent child in your life. Try and take the lead in that and being like, oh, I'm going to do something new in this moment because I'm an innocent child and I'm not completely programmed by fear and separation just because of, not just, but because of what happened to me before. I'm an innocent child now. I'm playing an innocent child. I invite you to try that in your everyday life. I also invite you from now on to play the game of actually noticing how many people base their whole lives around someone else's story. That narrative in some areas of Earth, listen out that you're listening to someone else's reality. You're listening. You bump into someone in the street, you're listening to what they're saying. But really, if you've got on this path with me, if you're listening up till now, you realise that really the so-called reality that's being given now is all based on the past of how people have been programmed to then navigate the now. So listen to how blatant it is that people actually walk around discussing stories with one another and then lapping over realities, but they're actually based on each other's rather than your own autonomy, rather than your own quest. So I could have accepted that as the only truth. I could have said life's difficult, it's unfair, it's painful, my sisters had to get me. But that was programmed from an external resource, and I was aware of that. And I wanted to find my own wisdom. And I know you do too. I know you do too. So task. Questions your child may have asked your heart. Questions your child mind may have asked your heart. Why would someone ruin my game? Why would someone ruin my game? Think about this collective reality right now. Think about what's going on. Why would someone want to ruin your game? Can reflect at the overlap now and hope you see where this is going. The child mind is asking, why would someone want to ruin my game? How did this happen? How did this happen? And what can I do to not experience that again? So that story for me, that was 30 years ago. And obviously I've grown a lot from them. I wouldn't react that way anymore. I've navigated that. But do you see that this reaction anywhere in your own lives or in society? I screamed this. This isn't fair. It's unfair. This is not the game. Stop changing the story. You're ruining this for me. Go away. Why are you doing this to me? Can you feel that energy of fear, that energy of separation, you v me, feeling the victim, feeling vulnerable, feeling attacked, feeling oppressed, feeling unable to do anything? And do you feel any similarity in some of the reality that's being shown to you on earth right now? Do you hear someone saying, this isn't the game, this wasn't what I signed up for? I thought that everything was go school, go college, go uni, get a job, get married, get kids, get a dog. I thought it was that. I thought I could go on holiday anytime. I thought I could just put any rubbish in the landfill. I thought I could buy plastic the whole time. I thought I could just do everything. I thought I could eat whatever I wanted and my body wouldn't get sick. This is this is the game. I thought I could do whatever I wanted. That's unfair. Why have you got that and I haven't? Why are you allowed to do that and I'm not? Stop changing the story. I hear one thing today, another thing tomorrow. You say I can do this, you say I can't. Stop changing the story. Are we here? Are we there? What's going on? I thought you had all the answers. I thought you were telling me what to do with my life. I thought this was a co-creation. I thought we were both playing together. But you're changing the story. You're making me feel like I have nowhere to go. You're ruining this for me. You're giving me, I've put my dreams out there and you're ruining it for me. Someone's telling me that I've got to actually step up and be responsible for myself. Someone's saying I can't have this when I always have it. Stop ruining this for me. I'm used to this reality. Go away. Problems. Go away. And why are you doing this? Why? Where's the perspective? Have the perspective of that even. The perspective of a sister going through her own pain and wanting to express herself. Could you imagine that in mass authorities right now, that they're actually experiencing their own pain and they're trying to express themselves by making your game feel painful, ruining your game because they've got something to express, perhaps just planting a seed there. But then she said something along the lines of, well, it is now, the game is changing. Things change. Things change. Things change. And I learnt then. Nothing stays the same. Obviously, my young mind was being programmed. Nothing good stays the same. It's always going to go downhill. It's always going to go downhill. Okay? And as a mass society, we may have been programmed to align to that. I know it's going well today, but it's not what's going to happen tomorrow. And maybe society is actually set up that way. So I stood up as that young child with a lump in my throat and I walked out. I walked out to cry in my pillow alone. I remember it clearly. I sobbed. I had all these questions going around and I sobbed. I was opening up these thought streams and these feelings and these beliefs. They were just recalibrating. This is how life is. So let's reflect on this for your own stories. Why would anyone choose to do that? Why would anyone choose to ruin your story, your game? Do they enjoy causing pain to others? Was this the intention? Without knowing that my family were going through divorce, do you think you could say, oh, that's mean, isn't it? I can't believe they were doing that. And you go, oh, she was hurting as well. Maybe. Just saying, for example, maybe she was hurting. Oh, I can understand that. And we're going to keep playing with this, because this is what I really want to ask you. What's their intention? Like I said before, is your enemy actually intending subconsciously to help you expand and evolve? And from that perspective, do they enjoy causing pain to others? Well, you could say, yeah, thanks for the pain, thanks so much, I gained a lot, walk the path of self-mastery, bring it on, can you give me some more pain? And how do you feel about that in an everyday reality now? If someone is trying to cause society pain, do they enjoy that? Is that what they're trying to do? Well, it depends on your perspective, doesn't it? If you're aligned to this perspective, then you could experience that pain being offered to you is actually the path of self-mastery, total bliss living. Why would someone want to do that to a child? To their own family? What have you maybe done to cause harm to others that's subconsciously then gone on? Maybe you've broken up with someone and they've gone on to live their dream life, and you're like, oh God, I'm so gutted, I'm so jealous. But you gave them a gift. You broke up with them and you gifted them the best story of their life. I know I've certainly been in that situation, and it was one of the most sufferable experiences for me. Not in terms of breaking up with someone, but in terms of hurting someone and then watching them go and live a happy life. It gave me so much healing. I was like, oh, I hurt them, and therefore they received the motivation to go and expand themselves. Like, big, you know. And we're always playing these characters, and you obviously ask yourself, have I done something to them? As a child, you start feeling so low, like, have I done something to them? Do I deserve this? And you ask yourself probably nowadays, do you deserve this? Have I done something to deserve this? You know, if you're low in money, not sure if you're working, not getting along with your children that well, not able to handle life, not involved in a beautiful, blissful community, you know, not happy. You probably ask yourself, do I deserve to not be happy? Is there a reason for this? And we want to ask ourselves, where did that even idea come from? Where did the idea of deserving happiness rather than being a natural given? A perspective of course I'm here to be happy. Nothing to do with deserving it. It's a choice, perhaps. Why do they hate me? Maybe you feel that, you know, I certainly felt like that through my whole life. I thought, I'm hated. I feel completely hated. I'm not loved. I'm not able to see that I'm wanted here because of that one seed sprouting through all the other beliefs. Why could I not do anything to stop that? Is there anything nowadays you're thinking, well, I could have done something to stop that? Is there anything I could have done to stop that? And you're just feeling more and more low. You know, your vibration, your energy is like, oh, regret, overlapping. And if I'd done that differently, you know, will this happen again to me? But luckily for you, we're on the path out of that. I gotcha. So from this memory, I could relate to how I could only see through the eyes of the dimension of fear. I was only looking through the eyes of fear. I wasn't looking for the rainbow, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I was like, there's no rainbow for me. There's no pot of gold. Someone else deserves that. I don't deserve it. And if this is hitting a nerve, if this is bringing something up for you, do you go around thinking that? Because it's not your fault. It's totally not your fault. Can let that go and breathe it out right now. And be like, I was here to learn. I was here to learn through experiencing fear. I was here to learn through pretending that we're all separate. Yeah. Pretending. Okay. And now we're going to play a different game. So, my child chose in that moment to retreat. I walked off into my room. I didn't speak up. I couldn't get my point across. I gave up. I surrendered. I surrendered to fear. And I chose submission. So what did you choose in your life to protect your heart? What methods did you use as shields over your beautiful child, innocent heart that just wanted love and to be held and be happy? What shields did you put up to protect yourself? I got overwhelmed. I just wanted everything. Please stop. I chose to use that method. I chose to use the method of confusion. Why me? Why me? This is how I protected myself. Why me? Why me? Why me? Why was this happening? Why was it? And really digging at it. I chose to get angry at other people. Why you? I put it on them. You did this to me. You've caused me pain. You've caused me to be like this. I haven't got this because of what you did to me. Chose to drink. Chose to be angry. Chose to look around and be really angry if someone was happy. How dare you be happy? Why you get to be happy and not me? And shame. I'm the problem. I'm the problem here in society. People like me, sad people like me that can't be happy with what they have. They should be happy. I've been educated. I've got a home to live in. I've got clothes. I've got like a takeout. I've got stuff. I can go swimming at the weekend. Everything looks really good. There's music. There's a TV on. It must be me. It must be ungrateful. Must be. There's people starving in the world and I can't be happy. There's no balance. There's no comparison between anyone. If you're not programmed and wired to see through the eyes of happiness, you can't see. You're programmed to be fearful of the world. You can't see another way. And this is that whole blame and shame and guilt thing. It's like, how do you expect to? How could you? Someone's only shown that. Why would they even look at something else until they become an adult, until they start changing their wiring? As a child, you're not in charge of it. You don't have a choice. And that's why it's so important to start young, to start this awareness, to heal ourselves as adults, to then go on to impact the children. So that no one says I'm the problem. I'm not the problem. The environment for me to be raised in, the environment for me to grow in, the society, for me to not even know the concept of shame, could be the problem. Maybe a broken system could be the problem. A child's not the problem. If you're conscious parents, if you're a parent listening to this, your child's not the problem, are they? Just sit with that for a sec. Tantrums, whatever you're going on, even a teenager going out, smoking, drinking, whatever, they're not the problem. Maybe the problem's that alcohol's available. Maybe the problem that cigarettes are available. Throwing it out there. If a child's having tantrums, maybe it's the problem that society isn't looking and saying, that child looks upset, must not have his needs met. What's their needs? Let's just all chill together. Let's not do a single thing all day apart from figure out why this child is reacting like that. Let's just let the child have that moment. Express yourself. Why are we trying to pacify or submit them? Shh. It's all good. Be quiet. Don't be upset. What? Like, let it out. Me choosing to surrender and retreat, I didn't know how to express myself. I just went within. Just be quiet. I want children to cry if they want to cry. I just love that now. They're not the problem. And fear. Life is fearful. And sadness. Why is anyone here? Why? If there's sadness in the world, why would anyone choose to stay? I couldn't feel happiness. Could you? If you're feeling low, in those moments of low, is do you have that moment where you're just like, what's the point? What's the point? What's the meaning of all this? If there's so much pain, what's the meaning? So I wanted to understand myself, and I imagine you do too, right? Obviously, we can talk activating your DNA and ascension and fifth dimension and God's source in another way, in another day. This is to help your consciousness just navigate this, okay? So I wanted to understand myself, and I imagine you do too, on any level of awakening, on any level of self-healing. So hopefully you see these images here. Who even taught us the concepts of sharing, games, rules, anger, sadness, shame, and fear. And so in this classroom, yeah, who taught us what these concepts actually represent? Could it be that in these environments that the adults too teaching them have been involved in being not having all their needs met, so they expect us to not have our needs met, and then children come into the situation, there's 30 of them that all don't have their needs met on some level because their parents have learnt through the eyes of fear and separation. So then there's 30 kids all being like, I'm a bully, I'm this, I'm left out, and they're all literally just playing this shame game, this pain game in schools, where the adults view it as normal behaviour, the parents view it as normal behaviour, but it's all because they experience only through the eyes of fear and pain and separation. What's normal about 30 kids in a class? What's normal? Just open your mind for a sec. What's normal about there being a kid that bullies other kids? What's normal about that? What's normal about there being a quiet one that's shy, that doesn't want to open up to anyone? Can you see that there's these underlying things happening here? Oh, I know, it's always part of life. There's always, there's always a loud one. There's always a loud one, maybe because there's something going on in their neural development. I'm not saying everyone's the same, of course not, but there's always a reason of the wiring. And with teachers in schools saying that, oh, there's always going to be bickers, it's like, why? Why would you say that there has to be bickers? They must have realised that bickering happens somewhere before. And if so, then they will go on to make this world a place where bickering, bullying, and being the quiet one and there being loud ones is normal, and apparently is something that we should accept, put up with. There's going to be a bully. Your boss might bully you. You've got to take it though. That's what happened in school. It was normal. Teacher said it was normal. Oh, and there might be a teacher that's being bullied by their boss. Oh, because that's normal. Because they were bullied when they were younger. Because they only thought that life was about fear, shame, separation. It's got to start somewhere, but it's also got to stop somewhere, hasn't it? And so we're not rats in lab experiments. Whack them in a classroom, see what happens. We are actually here to design our lives. We're that conscious. We apparently say we're the most evolved beings on the planet, but we still stick children in classrooms and program them not to ask themselves, to figure things out for themselves in terms of love and compassion. We say, you're wrong and she's right. What does even wrong and right mean? Surely we're here to learn through experience. So is there a wrong or a right answer ever? Can you do bad on a test? Didn't you just experience doing a test? Isn't that the point? It's not in mainstream. It's not in third density programming. So who was I to judge myself over concepts others had described? Little kid. I'm lonely. What is lonely? Why should I know the word lonely? I'm alone. I'm judged. Why should I know that? Why should any child hear it only through those eyes? What was my truth about what lonely represented? Did lonely represent self-mastery? Did judgment represent forgiveness? Did judgment represent love? Really? Do you see the yin and yang? I wanted to know my truth of these words. I wanted to redefine the language to my own experience, to a higher truth, to the truth, so that I could express myself, so that others could feel free to express themselves, so that we could elevate our consciousness, elevate the experience to be true, but on a mass scale. Not just a few of us experiencing these highly philosophical, experiential moments, relationships. I wanted everyone to realize that that's what they were already doing. And it's nothing to do with trying to do anything differently. It's realizing what you already are, realizing what's already happened to you, realizing you're already doing it, and just taking it to that next level. So I knew I felt pain But what was the opposite of pain? I knew I had sadness, but what had I lost? I allowed pain to be like my clues all throughout my life. When something bad, a bad feeling, a low vibration, a painful moment would happen, I knew it was a clue. I allowed pain to be my friend and to teach me more than any school. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to celebrate what we are, to evolve that. Someone else's passion might not be that. And I'm not talking to them, you know, I'm grateful if they listen. But this isn't to meet everyone. This isn't to meet and to get in a debate over whether school's important. It's to raise school to what we want to see in our human society: a loving, peaceful, a non-judgmental, no separation, unified society, surely. And from walking this path, I turned into a warrior, turned into an absolute warrior, slicing through the realms, slicing through ideas, slicing through the pain. My invisible samurai stick. So I invite you here to be curious. Be curious. What is possible? The whole world could change with these ideas and these concepts. So be curious to who you are. Are you the one that sits in the classroom being told what you are? Or are you the samurai warrior slicing through the air saying, what's air? Never mind, I can go to school and breathe in while doing your work. How am I breathing? What am I breathing? What's more important? What's more interesting? What's more real? You know, what's more real? What's more valuable? Yet, like this one life. What's more valuable? Knowing what you are on this true, authentic, own experiential level, of completely fascinated with the whole design and the opposites, or literally sitting in someone else's game of pain. So let's have a breath. And I hope you've walked this path as well. I hope you are these light warriors I'm calling to. I hope you're there right with me, beside me, saying, I hear you, sister. Oh, I walked it, baby. I walked it. Because it was in that moment. It was in that sovereign choice. I released their programming. Bye-bye. It wasn't the pain of the game changing. It was the shame that I'd let it happen. I'd let another control me. It wasn't that the girl, the sister, the idea had come in and changed my game. I realized that truly I felt shame. It was the shame that I'd walked away and not been able to change it then. It was the shame that I'd let someone else force me to give me the illusion that they'd forced me to do something, that they'd forced me to feel shame. They'd forced me to feel separate. It was that shame that was the pain. The shame. The shame of not rising. That was the shame. It was the guilt and the shame of experiencing submission. That was the pain. Are you feeling that now? Are you feeling that? Your pain wasn't that someone done something to change your reality. The pain is the shame that you let it happen. We're going to be letting this go. We're going to be letting this go. That seed planted within me haunted and taunted me. It said, well, you didn't do anything then, so why are you going to do anything now? Reflecting on that was the suffering. That is the suffering within the human. That when you're pushed down, when you're being submissive, that you didn't rise up. That bit is the thing that keeps you down the next time and the next time and the next time and the next time, until you're only in submission. Because you're so in shame of each moment that you submitted, you can only see that part of you. That part is what pulls you down. The shame in not rising up and saying, I'm here for my own truth, bye-bye. Realizing that is the key breakthrough in healing. Because you're no longer trying to heal externally. You realize that you can focus internally. And that's where you heal. It's the shame that follows us, which hurts us. So we can rewrite the script. It was that memory that repeated itself in my, I can't read that, in my heart. It made me feel weak. It had nothing to do with what another person did. It was my own self-created shame. I went over and over about why I didn't rise to myself. I could have said, this will stop now. I'm not leaving. This is my game. As soon as you leave, I'm going to return to my own game anyway. Your game is causing me pain, so why are you choosing this? In my game, everyone's winning. Everyone's happy. Play that game with me, sis. So from now on, unless you play by my rules, I'm not going to play with you. I could have said all that. But you don't look at a 3-year-old and go, why didn't you say that then? You don't look at any child ever and say that. You look at yourself and you say, I'm going to say it for them. I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it for myself. Because what can a child learn from other than learning from you? Don't tell a child to rise up if you're not rising. Don't tell a child to stand up for themselves if you're not standing up for yourself. They can only learn through copying. They can only learn through the reflection. And I'm not saying only, actually. Let's rephrase that. If we want to learn from reflecting, if we want to learn from being separate and saying, oh no, well, it's good because you had loads of pain and you learned a lot through it. Okay, that's what we're saying to children. You'll learn when you're older. You'll have a good life for having a painful childhood. I'm going to give you some more pain. If that's true, then let's just give each other loads of pain. How about that then? If that's true. If that's the truest truth you can perceive for how a human can evolve, instead of thinking they can evolve through love the whole time, if you think that you learn through pain and that's the moral of this story, then let's go and give everyone a world of pain and let's watch them heal their pain, It's not though, is it? It's not though, is it? You don't heal hate with hate. You just don't. And soon, because people are rising, people are shining now, but for that mass reality that they're not trying to reach you, trying to pull in and pull you out. Because soon, if you're in a world where there's not even one person saying you can rise, it's not even an idea anymore within your subconscious mind. Is not even an idea. You don't even see your heroes that you wish you could be, but you feel like so shit about, that you're full of the shame and you're saying, I like they're my hero, but I feel bad even looking at them. They won't even be in the reality to be perceived. They'll just be taken away, so that you don't even think about feeling shameful that you wish you could be something else. You're just ashamed of your very being. You'd just be in a reality where there's nothing to even look at but the reflection of one another that you're actually with. who hate themselves because they're ashamed they didn't rise. There won't be a hero to look for. There'll be one version to look at, which is telling you we're in charge. And that feeling of shame of not rising sooner has been put there since birth to make the society, to program the society right now to fall into this big gloopy trap. It all makes sense. And you'll sit there saying, I remember when she told me that. You've got these two halves. So from this, I realized that no one can make me feel a certain way. Only my own reflections of myself, actually what I experience. And let's figure this out. Let's figure this out together. You're going to figure this out. Okay, so I understood, and I hope you're going to understand from this. Okay, I've said this so that you can understand this on like a ancient yogic enlightenment way, also an aspirational methodology. Okay, so no one else causes me pain. This is the reflection I had. Hold on, no one else causes me pain. Let me just see. Let's go back a sec, right? Okay. I could have said everything else. I could have changed it in that moment. You could change something right now in your life. If someone's treating you like shit, you could change it right now. You could say, stop treating me like shit. Okay, I love myself. I'm here for a good life. Bye-bye. Okay, you could do that. Then you realize, oh, okay, well, I didn't. Okay, so because I didn't do anything, because I didn't take any aligned action to implement a higher life for me, to hold on to a higher timeline, to attract a better life, that's the shame. But now I'm going to forgive because I'm going around blaming them. But really, I didn't do anything to help it. So really, the only thing that I could see was something that I had chosen. I chose not to rise. So no one else causes me pain. If I chose not to rise, that's down to me, isn't it? That's down to me. Not down to the child. I'm saying the me now. I've healed it. I've understood. But if I didn't, if I kept saying, oh no, but I was caused pain, it's not down to anyone else, is it? I've realized that it was me. Okay? Because I've walked the path of healing. So I reclaim it as my own. I say, so no one else, you can't cause me pain. I would never blame you. I would never blame you for anything. You can't do anything to me. It's down to me to only be able to see through this eye that you've done something to me, to go, out of all the beautiful things in the world, the only thing I can see is that they've done something to me. You know, ignorance, huh? Pain is when I reflect upon myself negatively. That's what pain is. Me crying in the pillow saying, poor me, I didn't do anything. I don't deserve to be here. I'm a loser. I'm a joke. Pain is when I reflect upon myself negatively. I cause the pain there. I'm replaying it. Could have done something differently. I wish I'd done something. I'm causing their own pain. I'm not reflecting on someone else when I'm crying into my pillow. I'm not. It was the shame of not doing something that made me cry. It wasn't the action of the other person. Truly, the heart is longing. The longing for the heart. It's not thinking about another person. It's not thinking about another person. It's thinking about itself in a beautiful way. It's like, oh, that hurt when I didn't rise for myself then. That sucked. They're not blaming the other person. They're looking at within, yeah? So I'm only reflecting on what I'm not. In that moment of pain, I'm only reflecting on what I'm not. I'm saying I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. And therefore that makes me feel in pain. So in the same breath, it teaches me what I will walk towards to be. So that I will forgive myself for only seeing what I'm not. Only seeing what I'm not. Forgive myself. Little 3-year-old, 4-year-old, only crying, causing the pain. She could only see what she wasn't. God love her. I forgive her for that. I forgive the 30 years of pain that memory caused me. Of course I do. There's nothing she could do about that. I forgive her. I forgive her. I forgive my sister. I forgive that. Children. I forgive myself for seeing what I wasn't. 30 years of seeing what I'm not, instead of 30 years of seeing a strong child not give up. Think about that. That's how I reflect on her. I say, God, she was strong. God, I'm strong. 30 years of not wanting to be here, and I stayed here. Whew. What I wasn't, instead of what I was. Badass light worker, warrior. I realized that this pain had been self-created. I created it myself. All good. Therefore, I'm the creator of my pain. Okay? We're all the creators of our pain. If we're only going to see through the eyes of what we're not, then surely we're creating our pain, because you could still say, I'm such a good breather. Look at me living, rather than killing myself, rather than what I'm not. Oh, I'm not this though. But you're here. So you must be really strong, because even if you feel low, you're still here. That's amazing. Created only the view of pain. But then we must too be the creator of our bliss. If we create our pain, it's this liberating feeling of going like, if I only focus on the bad, I'm only going to feel pain. If I only focus on the good, then maybe I'd only feel bliss. Whoa. Responsibility. So now perhaps you're aware that you are the creator of your reality, depending on what you focus on, depending on how open your perspective is, depending on how open you want to let your heart be, depending on how aware you are of receiving conscious teachings, how to reflect, learning the methodology of how to reflect, learning how to do this path, how to heal, how to change, how to see through the illusion, the veils of separation, of fear. And you can create the reality depending on what you're focused on. You can forgive all others, for it must be your own pain that gives you that limited perspective. If you're only seeing the world's a terrible place, that means you must have probably been programmed to think the world's a terrible place. But you got to forgive that child of you, right? Because if they were programmed to think that wasn't their fault. It was not their problem. It wasn't their choice in some aspect. That's giving you the perspective of now. What did we say in the beginning? Beliefs change. So if you want to change your perspective to say, I'm not limited. I don't see this life as a terrible thing. I do see myself as a strong badass because I'm still here. I deserve to feel happiness. Of course it wasn't my fault. Of course I forgive everyone else. It wasn't their fault either, because they were equally programmed with the shame. Then you've opened yourself up to a completely new reality. And if you seek to see through neutral eyes, there's no good, there's no bad. Let me just see how that feels. Does it feel better than saying, yeah, but she did this, and there's this little thing I want to hold on to, because that still really hurt me. It's like, if every single person's been programmed to hate themselves and feel ashamed of themselves, how can you blame any of them? Even if someone planned it all, someone's planned to do this to us all. Okay, well, they must be full of a lot of self-hate right now to plan to do that to their fellow men. That just proves how low they must feel. Cultivates the compassion, cultivates the idea that you detach from them, because you're like, that's just low energy. That's really low. So be forgiving. Allow yourself to forgive. Just be like, I'm letting it go. Anyone that anyone that I said hurt me, forgive them. I was only able to see through the eyes that they hurt me, rather than that they made me strong and rise. If I choose to believe I'm strong and I rise. So because it's your choice, how can you not forgive other people? It's your choice. So you equally have a choice to forgive. Would that feel better? Doesn't mean we invite them around for tea. It means that you're aware that there's another layer of yourself to be explored, and that you're open to that, that you're ready. You said, well, I can't really hold on to a 3-year-old's perspective my whole life, can I? Or can I look at that 3-year-old and say, you taught me everything I came here to learn, everything I wanted to forgive, be forgiving to the whole world. Say you're all traumatized children that didn't have your needs met. You must be, because otherwise you'd be treating everything so beautifully, because you can only see through those eyes through the programming you have. So in the old paradigm, fear, shame and separation and submission, we've all experienced that, yeah? In your whole life, that's basically what we've been here for. We've been here for this amazing journey to feel fearful of everything, to feel ashamed of ourselves for what we didn't do, to feel separate to one another, to be like, that doesn't impact me over there in that country, and to submit, to say, oh, no, other people take care of things. That's the rules. I walk within them. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules, sorry. To submit. If someone says no, sit down, be quiet, you've done it. So that was all based on someone else coming up and spoiling our perfect game as a child, just spoiling it. So being programmed to be fearful, careful, watch that fire, ashamed when we didn't do something for ourselves, separate to one another, and to be in submission. So our perfect game, I'm guessing a child doesn't get born into this life to actually say, oh, my perfect game is when I'm scared, ashamed, separate, and submitting to someone. Or does that sound like an enslavement process? Does that sound like psychological warfare? Or does that sound like a divine offering where you say, yeah, that doesn't sound right, does it? I think we should work on that. I think we need to change that. Now, it's not normal, is it? Not normal for everyone to say that's normal. Oh, I'm all right. They're not, though. So your perfect game as a child, I've reflected, and I even felt guilty about the game. I felt guilty that my game was that boring. Through therapy, they go, what was it? It was just girl meets boy and they're happy. Very imaginative. It was like, I judged myself on my own imagination. I was like, my child was so pathetic. All she wanted was that. Pathetic. No wonder she didn't want to be around people. She didn't have imagination. She didn't have good stories to tell. All she wanted was to just be happy. What kind of mindset is that? Yeah. See how judging, the programming, then the society puts on the child, the inner belief of the child. What's wrong with her just saying that? What's wrong with her saying that? Yeah. So they can spoil your perfect game. So what was your original story? What was your child playing before someone came and spoiled it? It's like telling you what you're doing wrong. What was your perfect game? What was it? Just go with it. Don't judge it. I don't judge that now. I say, if that's what she wants to dream about, that's what she can dream about. And it's not that I want to get married. It's not about that. It's nothing to do with that. It's the idea of being happy. The idea of being able to play your own game, make your own choices. So that was based on them telling us these concepts, what they were and what we should feel about them, and feeling ashamed that we stopped believing in our dreams. So what if you reclaim that belief? I believe that my shame taught me hope. I believe my shame taught me to dream. I believe my shame taught me to expand. So I redefine every word. I teach people to do this. I redefine every feeling, every concept to help myself heal. I redefine it. Shame to me in the newly written dictionary will say healing. What does shame mean? To heal. To heal. An illusion of love. That'll pretty much be all the dictionary will say in terms of anything low vibe, lower conscious, something that felt painful, an illusion of love. An illusion of love. For it's only via an upgraded perspective that you can literally transform anything painful into a perspective of love. So what is anything painful other than that? If you walk the path. Reflect. Reclaim. Rewrite. Redesign reality, my friends. Use this method. Reflect on your life. Reclaim your memories. Rewrite the stories to be positive, uplifting ones. Redesign your world around that. See through different eyes. Reality will change before your eyes. It's not a trick. You say that I learned from my pain. Reality, the whole shift happens around you. You'll see everything come alive. You'll say, oh, I realize now, oh my goodness, all that teaching, it's right there within you. Look, don't look outside, look within. It just happens like that, of course. Poor me. No, poor everyone. Open yourself up to that idea. Say it right now, not poor me, poor everyone. Poor everyone. And see the compassion come oozing out of yourself. Poor me, poor everyone. Poor everyone. Because if there's even an idea of poor me, it means poor everyone, because you're part of it, baby. Yeah. And your pain represents everything for everyone. Yeah. So poor you does represent poor everyone. Everyone should be there helping you rise now. There's one child upset, one child feeling pain. A whole tribe's going to stop and help that child realize it's loved. It's going to learn from this. It's trying to learn through separation, but it doesn't have to anymore, because we're all there for it. We're not going, yeah, you'll learn one day. No. We'll bring them into the tribe. We say, come. It's not getting rid of the idea of pain. You fall over, it still hurts. But what do you learn? That your knee heals. How can you even say it was only painful? Oh, my knee heals. Oh, I get stronger when I fall, pick myself up. Lots of people looked after me. Oh, I had the right tools around to help me. What does pain represent other than healing? What does pain represent other than the proof of healing? If you walk the path. If you don't walk the path, you can't say pain equals healing, because you're not even trying to walk towards healing. You're just saying pain equals pain. You break your leg and then you sit there and you go, oh, broken leg, you're just going to be in pain your whole life. No, you break your leg and you might go to the doctors and have it healed. So if you've got painful thoughts, why you not come do some meditation and heal them? It's the same thing. Getting better now is moved out of going to the doctor. You ain't going to do antidepressants. You come and do courses. You come and do programs. You come and do healing from within. You don't ask someone else. Someone else gives you the tools to heal from within, yeah? So what if you redefine reality to suit you? What if you said, what do I need right now? Do I need some change in my thoughts? Maybe I'm going to change my thought. Rather than saying I have no options, I'm going to say I have options. You redesign reality and you go, what are my options? Rather than I don't know my options. Redesign it with your thought, redesign it with your awareness. So let's reflect on your own memories right now and the global situation. Could it be that it isn't the force that's been inflicted upon the planet that causes anyone to suffer? Right? But it's the shame of not rising to stop it sooner. The low vibration, the feeling of fear isn't about someone doing something to you. They're not doing anything to you. Someone telling you can't do something, or you can't play that game. You can't do that. I've told you you can't. I'm going to do something to you if you do. What about if that's not actually causing you the pain at all? It's that you feel shamed. You feel shameful about yourself for not doing something differently. For not doing something for yourself. For not being able to understand how to navigate this. Not being understanding how to rise up in a positive way other than violence and anger. More fear. You know, fear doesn't eradicate fear. So someone's doing something to you to make you feel oppressed. What if you completely understood and wiped that out of the way and said, oh, it's not that them doing something to me. They can't do anything to me. I'm in charge of how I see things. And it must be actually that I'm just feeling low because I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed I'm not rising yet. Okay. So is it that we went along with the submission because of the shame of even just one childhood moment that's led us all here now? I'm talking from proof. My one memory of shame led me here. What one memory of shame has led you there? Zoom out as a society, like I said about in those classrooms. You've got a teacher going, yeah, that's part of life. Well, when did it begin? When did it end? When's it going to end? Is it that we went along with submission because of the shame of just one childhood moment that led us all here now? Wow, powerful. Does that mean that there could be one moment that everyone rises out of it? Yes. Be an earthling. Know you are here right now, and you are not here because of the previous past history of other people telling you what you're here for, telling you their rules, telling you their games, telling you their stories because of their trauma. Their trauma. Their one moment they were programmed in fear. Be an earthling. Does the earth live in fear to express herself? Does a tree get too scared to grow because it's going to be cut down? No, it grows anyway. Be an earthling if you're going to be anything. Say, I'm on earth right now. I'm not going to live in fear. I'm on earth. I'm spinning in the galaxy on a planet in space. Why would I think I'm anything else? Why would I think I'm under the oppression or the rule of some other thing? I'm an earthling. Ant doesn't walk around going, oh, scared. I'm scared of that person telling me what to do. No. Free beings. You're on earth. You're an earthling. Be an earthling. Don't be an American. Don't be I'm English. Oh, I'm this football team support. Oh, I'm a woman. I'm this. I'm a man. I'm old. I'm this. All these other labels. You're earthlings, my friends. You're earthlings. Be an earthling. What does that provide you with? A unified experience. You're an earthling. Your children are earthlings. Don't look at them and go, my children, they're my children, my responsibility. They're earthlings as well. They're responsible for themselves. And they really want to have a good time here. They're earthlings. They're sovereign beings as well. And by us even labeling them, saying they're mine, where does the word mine come from? Someone else has told you what that means. What does mine mean to you right now? Let's ask. What is actually yours? Surely the only thing that's actually yours is this body, this breath, the thoughts, and the vision that you are giving out. Surely that's the only thing that you're actually responsible for. What comes out of you. And I don't mean that in terms of the children. I mean in terms of right now. What are you saying? What are you doing? How are you being? Surely there's nothing else. Don't matter, I own the car. Nothing to do with that. It's not yours, mine. Someone can go crash into that and guess what? It'll be taken away and it won't be mine anymore, will it? Nothing other than this co-creation of this environment of earth that you are in, this temple body, your breath, your senses is really truly yours. When someone says it's mine, ask, okay? We remove the labels and say we're all earthlings. How does that feel? I'm not a mother, I'm not a female, I'm not this age, I'm not a sister, I'm not a daughter, I'm an earthling, baby. Woo! Let it all go. Let your character, your real true character, rise out of your cells. You're an earthling. Welcome to the tribe. So can we play this game? How does it feel to forgive? How does it feel to forgive the past? How does it in this right moment just being like, what if I just forgave? Would that lead me on to heal? Would that lead me on to love my life more? Would that allow me to expand? Would I feel more abundant? Would I feel more free, joyful, creative, blissful? Would I be more creative with people? Humanity's quest for bliss has been reflected upon for thousands of years. What else have we been studying? By the ancients, the yogis, the channelers, psychologists, philosophers, and now the neurologists. Every single genre, every single book you'll ever read is basically the story of dark v light, pain v pleasure, have-nots to the haves, choice v choicelessness, God or no God. You have a voice or you don't. It's all this quest of balancing up these two, yin and yang. But now it's time to choose. Are you on the quest of pain still? Or are you on the quest of bliss? Have you learned enough through pain? Have you figured it out? It's your choice. Have you figured out through this webinar? Have you figured that out? to say, I create it. If I don't give myself another option, then I'm literally just choosing that. I'm choosing to only see through the eyes of pain. And then you're stepping into this path of bliss. So as humans have wanted to investigate this path, I now bring you my expansive new theory summarized. Suffering. Suffering is the shame one feels when they have given up on their dream game. Okay, I'm a Vipassana meditator. I work with the Buddha in the quantum. I'm a channeler for source. This is my own interpretation of suffering. And obviously the Buddha came to teach us what suffering is. Suffering, when you're craving something you don't have, or when you're not grateful for what you do have, you're going to be in suffering. This is mine for humanity now. Suffering, you will be in suffering, you will feel you're in suffering when you're feeling the shame, when you have given up on your dream game to play. That's my 30 years of suffering. I gave up playing my dream game. I blamed everyone else. I thought it was them doing it to me. I realized it was then my choice. I realized I'd chosen that. I realized I was playing a game, right? So I was in suffering because I felt ashamed that I had given up on my dream game. Have you? Could you reflect that this is probably the suffering you feel, that you gave up experiencing your dream game, that you let your child give up on experiencing their dream game? You let them suffer. That child suffered because they said, my dream, I will never get it. I don't deserve it. I give up. I give up my dreams to abide and submit to the rules and the games of others. And therefore, I am clearly in suffering. Clearly. But not because of what they've done, just because I gave up on experiencing my dream. So, you are viewing now into two different realities, okay? You got the number one reality, shame and submission, okay? So if you're in that right now, I hope this has helped you realize that you're just feeling ashamed that you've submitted your dreams. And that's beautiful, yeah? That's so beautiful. You realize, oh, wow, if I really want, I could walk number two into liberation and bliss, where I believe in achieving and experiencing my dream life, playing my own game, setting my own rules. So here's the game for you. You've got to give one of these options up, okay? You've got to give up one of these. This is the game we're going to play right now. You've got to make a choice. You are either going to give up the game that your child was traumatized to experience, to live in fear, to be ashamed of themselves for not having the tools to rise and to experience their dreams, and fell into a world of submission. You can either give that one up and walk sacredly and passionately into a completely new reality where everyone is aligned to experiencing their dream life, forgiveness, love, co-creation, creativity, and bliss. Or you can give up that life of bliss, of believing in your goals, of experiencing ultimate freedom, of being able to redesign within this matrix web of light give up exploring and staring at the stars. Give up the freedom of your children. Oh, no, they don't deserve that. They don't deserve organic, beautiful, clean water as well. Homegrown food, complete bliss, abundance, gold pouring from the skies, peak health. Oh, no, 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 they don't deserve that. Let's give that one up. What my children are here for is to surrender to and submit. You want to give up the bliss because you want to stick with the shame. Say, oh, my children, I bore my children to feel ashamed of themselves. I bore my children to submit to someone else's rules and to live in someone else's reality. Which one are you going to give up? Which one are you giving up? Two options. That's the game. Two perspectives to hold on to right now. They don't live with each other. So which one are you choosing? Your sovereignty represents that you get to make this choice. No one is telling you or forcing you not to. They are only offering you the chance to. If we look at this number one, they are offering you the choice to say, that doesn't feel good anymore. I'm out. Thank you so much. And the number two choice, walking into bliss. They're offering you a choice. Do you want to walk into bliss? Do you want to walk into freedom? First choice you get to make. Are you a slave? Are you here to submit? Are you here to give up your dreams? Have you been programmed so deeply that you don't believe that children deserve their dreams and that they want to learn, they have to learn through pain? You know? Oh, the world's gone too far. Children deserve to live an experience like I did. They'll learn. There's nothing I can do about it. That world, you're teaching your children, there's nothing you can do about it, darling. Don't even think about your dreams. Keep your head down, because there's no one that's coming to save you, because I didn't save myself. I've drawn out the reality for us. I laid it out there for you, darling. I love you, baby. Welcome. Welcome to submission. Welcome to shame. Yeah. We're going deep here. We're going deep. Yeah. Is that the one you're choosing to keep? Because you're going to have to give one up. Okay? You have to give one up. Or you're walking into manifesting peak reality for every child. Saying, I share everything. I understand I'm not here for painful, baby. Redistribution of wealth, baby. People that are in charge, supposedly in charge, get off your horse. Come down. We're taking what's rightfully ours back. Always has been. It was an illusion you had any control over me. I gave up my control. I gave it to you through choice for you to experience a moment where you felt big, because I know, baby, that you feel so small and that's why you needed the control for so long. But guess what? I forgive you, Bam. I forgive you, man. I forgive you. I'm going to take it back now because I don't want to play the game anymore, right? See you later. Love you. Yeah? I'm walking into bliss with my children. Generation upon generation are going to be free on this land. They're going to say, I'm an earthling. I'm not the loud one or the bully. I'm not the quiet one. I'm not the abused and neglected one. I'm not the show off, stands at the front. I'm not the one that got hurt. And that's why I'm quiet. They're all going to say, I'm an earthling. You don't need to know anything else about me. If I say I'm an earthling, it means I'm in for unity. It means I believe in expansion and consciousness and co-creation, love. Manifesting heaven on earth. That's who earthlings are. Okay? So which one are you giving up? Right here, right now. No games. This is what we've come here for. Make your choice. 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 You get to make this choice. You get to make this choice. It's so powerful. It's so potent. It's so exciting, isn't it? What have you chosen? What have you chosen? I'm inviting you to be shameless. To be shameless. I mean this as spiritual as you can go and as ballsy and confident as you can go. Be shameless in your choice. Be shameless in your light. Be shameless in your love. Be shameless in your earthling status. Be shameless in your forgiveness. Be shameless. Let the shame go. Don't worry you didn't rise all throughout those years. Rise now. Don't hold on to that shame. Don't let that shame pull you down to say, oh, you didn't do it then, so you're not going to do it now. You didn't do it then, so you're not going to do it now. You know what? If you never invested in yourself, be shameless. Be like, I'm not going to hold on to that shame and go, she'd never want to work with me. I don't believe in myself. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can rise. I don't think I can be that person in my community. I don't think I can because I've never done it before. Be shameless. Be like, I'm going to invest in myself. I'm actually going to ring Emily up right now and be like, I'm shameless right now. I was full of shame 5 minutes ago, and now I just want to be shameless, baby. Shameless, less shame. Be shameless in your evolution. Be like, the only thing I'm here for is to evolve consciously. The only thing I'm here for is to provide the land for my children. Of course I am. I'm shameless in that. Keep your old, sticky, boring, shameful, controlling, fear paradigm narratives away from me and my family, away from my community. Because I'm shamelessly walking towards the light, my friend. I'm shamelessly here to provide the space for future generations to survive and thrive without being enslaved and encoded with someone else's dream. I'm shamelessly walking towards my dream, and that's not to do with a girl and boy getting married. That's to do with happiness, baby. Happiness. And what's happiness? Freedom. Freedom from within. Giving all beings freedom. I'm saying I'm giving you freedom. I'm not saying you got anything to do with me. It's up to me. I create my own reality. So do you. Be shameless in your wealth of wisdom. You got a wealth of pain that you're here to turn into passion. You've got to follow your pain to lead you to your passion. You be shameless in that. Beautiful vibration that you'll get, yeah? So, my friend, what if we hadn't submitted that first time? Who would we be now? Who would I have been? Would have I got to walk this blessed journey without those programmings? What if the shame is what we now get to heal? Because guess what? I've loved healing that. So what if it was perfect all along? Imagine the feeling of this man in this picture, yeah? Of this earthling in this picture, yeah? Pain in the body, can't stand up. Imagine their journey was to actually rise out of the seat, under the sun, under the sky, under the heavens. He says, this was perfect. I'm so glad I broke my legs. I'm so glad my legs were broken so I could heal them and experience how grateful I am to stand up, because before then, I didn't appreciate one step I took. And now I'm a new person. Thank the Lord for the legs being broken. Thank the Lord. What if it was perfect all along? And I hope you're reflecting on this. Your life has been perfect if you walk in the path to inner healing. That's when you reflect that it's perfect. If you walk the path to healing. If you don't walk the path to healing, of course it's not perfect, because feeling perfect doesn't come in the feeling of pain. It comes in the feeling of perspective. Perfecting perspective is how you can say life's perfect. If you come to that neutral space to go, oh, pain, pleasure, same thing. They come to an awareness of my own perfection, of perspective. So I am here to help. This is why I came here, to guide this, to lead this, to activate you, to be able to open up your awareness, to say, I'm going to write my new story. I reflect on every page of the diary and say, wow, I see now. Of course, I could only see it through a 3-year-old's eyes. Why was I walking around my whole 30 years of a 3-year-old's perspective who was traumatized through one version of reality created by others who were clearly unhealed themselves? I'm here to help. Wherever you're at on your journey, I hold space for that because you're me. I'm you. But I'm here to help you walk that path. Okay? You can email me, ascendwithemily@gmail.com. You can use my YouTube channel, Ascend with Emily, for multidimensional ascension, meditation, teachings, walking your path of pain into passion. You can visit my website, holdingspaceforyou.co.uk, where I have incredible online programs for beginning awakening, for mastering your power of now, which is the place you need to be. You cannot heal unless you're in the now. Where does healing happen? In the body, in the mind, in the future, the past? No, in the now, reflecting upon the future and the past in the now. So you've got to be in the now. There's ascension, self-mastery teachings, but applicable for anyone. You'll be able to understand. It's not too much, too high. It's just like this, a story to bring you into that space and be like, I get it. And my deeper programs for channelings, especially Christ consciousness channelings, for those light leaders that are ready to activate, to step into their divine service, to be like, I'm not playing around anymore. I'm not saying maybe I'm here for this. I'm here for this. It's quite clear I'm here for this. Now I'm going to own my story, preach my truth, stand on top of the mountain, tell it how it is, tell it how it really is. Pull in my soul tribe, who I came to serve, my soulmate clients, who signed that contract way up there in the quantum, and to receive your own channelings from my galactic teams, to receive personalized transmissions for you, higher dimensional activations, to bring you to this state of bliss, to see through the eyes of God's source. And for that, you contact me direct. And the free Facebook group, Fifth Dimension Generation, join that. That's where I offer free teachings, free gifts, free activations. You have a heads up on anything I'm up to, anything I'm able to serve you with, anything I'm sharing. Join that group. And that group actually transitions over to the webpage to be a free portal on the webpage. So social media goes down, you're not stuck on Facebook. It's not my intention. My intention is to help you restore your sovereignty. My intention is for you to believe that you do have a choice of what you want to do. You don't have to be on Facebook to be with your soul tribe, to be with your light leader, to be with people that are there to inspire and motivate you. I'm all over email. I'm all over it. And on Facebook, you can add me personally, Emily Jackman. So to end this game that we are within, you're here to experience what you are. You're here to experience and to restore your power of choice. You're here to choose which reality you would prefer to learn in. Which one fills you up with more passion now? Is it still interesting listening to someone else's story? Is it still interesting focusing on what someone did to you rather than what your part to play in it is and how you can positively impact that situation now? You're like, are you done with the gossip and the drama and the blame of what everyone else is causing you to go through? And instead you're like, oh, it's my responsibility. If I change my perspective, I wouldn't see it that way. Whoa, is that what they're all talking about? Is that what they're all doing? They're changing their perspective so that they don't experience pain, experience suffering. And then, just to deepen it that one step further, in a vibrational sense, your vibration rises and nothing negative from a lower conscious perspective can get in because your field is so strong. So strong. You would have pulled in your higher self to be embodying that truth. You would have activated your soul mission of why you came here. Be impacting generations to come. The heavens singing your praises for you understand and understood. You start speaking your story and serving others so that they come here to experience the bliss, the freedom that you now have. So your main mission being here is to learn how to be. To learn how to be. I hope this has empowered you, motivated you, helped you, assisted you, supported you. And I hope that you reach out to me. If I'm reaching out my hands, I'm opening my heart to receive you. Okay? All the stories you tell yourself, we rewrite them. Okay? It's an intensive process, I understand. But you want it. You want it. You've learned through pain. And now it's time to learn through the love. Reach out, reach out, reach out. And please feel free to share this video to someone that you know it will inspire and for their life to change from receiving this transmission. We are powerful, potent gods and goddesses upon earth. We are earthlings. We're a soul tribe. We're a family of light. We're all in this together. I love you. I love you. I love you. This is for every single child that's been traumatized, every single memory that was distorted through the illusion of pain and separation. This transmission comes through the holy name of the divine I am presence to bring us all together in this moment, to be open enough and grateful enough to receive the truth, to see through the eyes of God, to see through the eyes of unity. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. Thank you.